mostly I had seen your post for your music.
Yeah.
And seeing a lot of that stuff.
I remember too when I talked to you that day that you were like really interested in the fact that when I told you I was doing multimedia, you were like, "What, internet stuff, like that kind of media?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So I remember you taking an interest in that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I was going to introduce you, but since we're already talking about it, why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Ernest J. Roybal, songwriter, singer-songwriter from Denver, Colorado, aka Denver Darling. My music format, I call it Denver Darling and the What the Fuck Big Band.
I love the name, man.
I do too. The whole idea of it was that when you hear it for the first time, it was so unique and so different that you just stop and say, "What the fuck is that?" You know?
Yeah. Yeah. When I heard the name, I was like, "Wait, what? What is that?"
So that was the thought, because I had put so much time and effort into being something like okay, people are doing this, people are doing that, and I gotta do something that's more unique and something that is gonna make people just like, hey, that is different. You know what I mean? So I worked on it hard, and I just was hoping the name was appropriate for it. You know?
Oh yeah, it's fine, man. Yeah. I love the name. What type of music would you classify it as?
I call it my own genre. I call it modern country jazz. I dig deep into the roots of country music, which was like traditional classic country in its heyday. And then I'd go into big band, ragtime, hip hop, blues, R&B, and any other Americana that can be fused together.
Yeah, I did see some of the hip hops, especially in some of the older stuff, I think. Mm-hmm. And then some of the jazzy, kind of like some of it was kind of Johnny Cashy a little bit at times, like some of the songs.
I would hope not.
No?
I try to steer clear from that, but I mean,
I thought there was one that kind of sounded, that reminded me of.
I try to steer clear from that. I have a personal issue with that family, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a big fan, but I have a personal issue with that family.
What's going on with the Johnny Cash family?
We had met in Bonacqua, Tennessee, at a place called Storytellers Museum, and I was given a drink, which was toxified with something else, and from that it turned into 3 weeks of being exploited and my songs and ideas and intellectual property taken. So,
from who specifically?
One Thomas Gabriel Coggins, first grandson of Johnny Cash, the oldest grandson of Johnny Cash.
Huh. Wow. I didn't expect this.
Yeah, that was that. But I mean,
wow.
It was one thing that the incident occurred. The second thing was once I snapped out of what was going on, then he came with frivolous criminal charges in Tennessee and almost got me 16 years in prison, a mental institution. Like, they were trying to erase the fact that I even exist. You know what I mean? So it's still something it's been 9 years now, but it's still a soft spot for me. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow. And so you're saying that these guys that the grandson, what's his name?
Thomas Gabriel Coggins.
You're saying that Thomas Coggins?
Yeah.
He drugged you?
Yeah, drugged me. And then not only drugged me, he brought in some lady called Sherry Spell Hypnosis, and she put me under hypnosis trances, and then they exploited the hell out of my brain and intellectual property for 3 weeks straight.
Really?
Yeah.
For what purpose? What did they do with the information they got from you?
They have connections to all kinds of people who are in the music industry. So songs can go here, there, and be placed with other people. They get their kickback and their money. You know what I mean?
So you're saying they took your
songwriting
art
ability and my ideas for what I would do with the song. Like, if I was working with this individual artist or this person, what do I think would be a hit? What do I think? And they pried and picked at my brain constantly for 3 weeks straight.
Where were you at during this time? In their house?
I was in my house in Bonacqua, Tennessee.
So they were in your house?
They were in my house, yeah. But it started with, you know what I mean? Like I'd like to do this and get to know you. You know what I mean? And then it went from that to me being under hypnosis and being exploited for 3 weeks.
Wow. So what happened after you said there was a point where you kind of snapped too, where you came
Okay, so
back
when I woke up, I'm sitting on my couch in my living room and there's nobody there. And from the first night that it occurred, the bottle of whiskey was still on the table, but there was a bunch of dead flies and all kinds of weird shit. Like, and I'm looking around and I'm like, what the hell happened? And it felt like maybe it was just one night or something. You know what I mean? Like we partied one night and I just got too drunk. But my girlfriend was in the hospital, and I look. Well, first I had to locate my phone, and I call her, and I'm like, hey, so where are you at? And she's like, I'm at my mom's. Where the fuck have you been? And I was like, I can't explain it yet. You know what I mean? But I'm coming for you. So I went in and picked her up, and found out that it had been 3 weeks. I had not called her or contacted her in 3 weeks. Her mom had to go pick her up from the hospital. You know what I mean? So from that point on, I had to start trying to figure out what happened during them 3 weeks. And all I had was fragmented pieces of evidence of memory and recollection.
So how did you? Did you know right away that it was them that did it to you?
I knew what happened pretty much. Like, you know, I'm from the streets and I've done drugs before. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
I kind of knew as I was getting bamboozled and taken advantage of that, like in sections and portions of time where, like, I just got to ride this out. I just got to ride it out, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Like survive.
Yeah. And then when I finally snapped to, it was like they I don't think they expected me to be normal coherent anymore by that time. You know what I mean? But I was coherent and normal.
And they weren't there when you snapped out of it?
When I came to, there was nobody in my house. What was weird was, as soon as I woke up and I was moving, I had a knock at my back door and a knock at the front door. The front door was the fucking police, and then the other one was one of his friends from the Storyteller Museum. At the same time, one was knocking in the back, but then it was like, oh, you're okay, and they just tried to blow it off, like, oh, last night was this and that. And then the cop was like, yeah, we had complaints about the noise. And I was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know?
So the cops just happened to show up because somebody complained about some noise.
Yeah, he's saying that. That was what he's saying. And the other guy is saying that he was there partying with me in the night. Well, I don't remember none of that shit.
Wow. So now what? Once you figure out what happened.
So when I figure out what happened, for a while, I'm thinking it was like hazing. Don't worry, everything's like, all of the things that they told you in between time are probably going to come to fruition.
So when you say hazing, you think, oh, people out here just get fucked up. That's what they do in the industry. They just get high.
Yeah,
so.
that's I thought it was like yeah, we're gonna fuck with you, because I mean they made promises to me that, don't worry about it, bro. When like, you're gonna go through this, but when it's over with, you're gonna get the opportunity you want. You're gonna get your chance. Blah blah blah. That's how they kept your brain believing that you're gonna give them more product and more product and more product. You know what I mean? So they're picking the hell out of your brain with a bunch of false promises and a bunch of lies. You know what I mean?
This sounds like some P. Diddy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Where you manipulate people for your benefit.
Yeah, and you use drugs and hypnosis to do it. Is exactly what it is.
Jesus.
So anyway, when I tell them, hey man, like I've waited for an amount of time. I've been cool. When are you gonna fix the damn thing? When are you gonna keep your word? When are you gonna hold up your end of the fucking deal? You know? Then all of a sudden he filed a charge on me, saying that I was trying to hire a contract killer on him. Mm-hmm. And it was not true, fabricated completely. But their money and their shit has deep roots in Tennessee, and I found myself in a situation where that little county was trying to hang me. You know what I mean? They were going to put me in prison and lock me up, and they didn't care what I had to say. Or nothing I said didn't matter.
So you left.
No, I stayed. I fought it all the way to U.S. Supreme Court.
Oh, you got arrested.
Yeah, I got arrested. I got charged. I had to fight that case I fought that case for 5 years.
So, sorry, Johnny Cash's nephew accused you of
Grandson.
trying...
His
Or
first
sorry,
grandson.
sorry,
Yeah.
grandson. Accused you of trying to hire somebody to kill him.
Yes.
But you're saying the true story is he drugged you to steal your intellectual property and your ideas.
Yeah.
And then you got charged because his story was more believable.
No, he had the whole county. They were somehow or another were just on his side with bribe, and like nothing I said mattered. I feel like Jeffrey Epstein when the girls came forward and told him what was really going on, and they just said no. You know what I mean? Like you don't exist, and we're just gonna blow you up. That's how I felt, bro. You know what I mean? Like this is a bad situation, and nobody believes a damn thing I say. You know what I mean?
Wow. So how long were you in jail because of this?
So I sat in jail for I sat in jail for 90 days in the Hickman County Jail, and fighting to try and get a bond. They wouldn't even give me a bond. So then finally I got released, and they put me on an ankle monitor, you know, all the stuff that the law can do to keep you contained. And I just kept fighting the case from there, kept fighting it, you know. And every time I try to go to a higher court, they try to dismiss it. Then I have to appeal, and then and it took 5 years, all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
So to go to the Supreme Court, there has to be a conviction that occurred.
No, there was no conviction. It didn't have to. I had a case against them. Like I filed a countersuit against them.
Oh, so you had a civil suit.
Yeah, a civil suit. And my case went all the way to the Supreme Court.
What happened with the criminal charges? They
just dismissed all the way. 5 years, I think it was 3 years. 3 years in the criminal.
Oh, okay. So you were charged. You were going to court. You were on bond. Mm-hmm. You were going to court. In the meantime, you filed a civil lawsuit.
Civil lawsuit. Yeah.
Okay, and then that's what went all the way to the Supreme Court.
To the U.S. Supreme Court. Yeah.
And that was for
it was for damages for what they had done, and plus the part that you know what I mean. You're running me through the criminal justice system,
right?
You know, and it's all on frivolous terms, but they just kept like kicking the can with it.
What evidence did they have that you were trying to put a hit on this guy?
His word. That's it. Him and his friend. It's not a friend. So he's with this woman, and the woman has a daughter. Him and her are married. The guy, you know what I mean? Scotty Baker. And he's married to the daughter of his ex-girlfriend.
What's his name again?
Who's that?
The grandson?
Thomas Gabriel Coggins.
Gabriel Coggins?
Yeah.
Like a cog.
Yeah, he is a cog. That's the name.
Thomas Gabriel, country singer.
Yeah.
Was born in 1973 in Ventura, California.
Yeah, it's unfortunately not uncommon for people with lots of money and influence to run people who don't have that money and influence through the legal system for years.
The thing that was horrible about it was that I'm facing some serious criminal charges in a state where I'm going to be like with nobody. I don't know anybody in there. I don't know anybody at all in there. And then on top of that, they bring in the Mental Health Institute, and they're trying to put me into the just make you erased is in any way, shape, or form that they can. You know what I mean? Even if you claim this, we're going to just say you're mentally nuts. You know what I mean?
If they can't bring the proof forward, but they bring somebody in that says you're mentally unstable.
Yeah, and then
you may end up in there anyway.
Then you're just like you can't believe this dude because he's mental. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see him now. So don't take this as disrespect, but you and him look a little alike. It's crazy. Like you guys could be brothers, man. So I could see where you guys would have made a connection if you met in public somewhere. This episode is brought to you by the Josh Henry Workshop, where craftsmanship meets purpose. Whether you're in the kitchen slicing up dinner, out in the woods, or just need a reliable everyday carry, the Josh Henry Workshop has you covered. Every knife is handmade and hand-forged in the good old USA in North Carolina by a veteran-owned small business that puts heart, heritage, and pride into every blade. Michael, what do you think about the Josh Henry Workshop knives?
Jeremiah, I love the quality of the Josh Henry Workshop knives. These are not mass-produced tools. They are custom pieces built to last, with real attention to detail. So if you're looking for a knife that works as hard as you do, check out the Josh Henry Workshop. You'll find your new favorite blade, and you'll be supporting a small business that truly cares about the craft. Visit the Josh Henry Workshop on either Instagram or Facebook at Josh Henry Workshop to learn more or to place a custom order today.
Yeah,
because sometimes when you meet someone that looks like you or is kind of like you, you know, you kind of have, you notice them. You're like, oh, look at that guy. He's kind of like.
The weird thing is there's one bar in the whole town of Bon Aqua, and he doesn't drink. You know what I mean? But for some reason, I go in there it's the weekend. My girlfriend's in the hospital, and I'm bored as fuck at home. I have nothing to do. So I said, I'm going to go to the bar, hang out, even if it's boring. Like, you know what I mean? It's better than just sitting here all day. So I go in there, I put some music on. I'm just it's me. There's nobody else in there, just me and the bartender lady. And all of a sudden, this 2 girls and this guy come in, and they're sitting there, and they're like, you know what I mean? And then he walks up, and he's like, hey, can I talk to you about this and that? And he introduces himself, and he tells me that he's from over there at the Storytellers Museum. And then all of a sudden, he's like, well, I'm about to record this album. I'd like to know more about what you do, you know what I mean? Would you mind showing me some songs? And I'm nervous about it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know this motherfucker, you know what I mean? But I asked the bartender, she says she don't know for sure, but you know what I mean? Why would he say it if that's not who he was? And that about that time is when the drugs started to take effect from the beer I drank. And then I agreed. We went over there, and then people just started showing up, and I was getting like real, like, what the fuck is this? You know? So I was like, who are all these people? And he's like, don't worry about it. They're from the Storytellers Museum. They're, you know what I mean? They work with me. It's just how it is, you know? So I tried to be comfortable, and they kept talking to me. But one guy was like, if he was a psychologist or psychiatrist, and he kept trying to talk to me like, keep me calm. And then they waited, and it was about like an hour and a half. And then all of a sudden, Sherry Spell, Hypnosis, showed up. And that was her thing. Like, how does she get close enough to me to let me be there long enough around her till she could put a hypnosis on me? Once they did that, it was done. They had me.
Sherry Spell.
Yeah.
Like, put a spell?
Yeah,
Sherry Spell?
Sherry Spell Hypnosis.
Spell Hypnosis. Sorry, I'm not trying to distract, but this is crazy.
It's a fucked up story.
Is a hypnotist in Nashville, Tennessee, offering both clinical hypnotherapy, issues like stress, smoking, and sleep, and comic stage hypnosis for events.
So have you ever seen comic stage hypnosis?
No, but I get it. Like, people going in front of crowds.
They can take a person who doesn't sing or write songs at all, and they can get them to perform fairly decent in front of people without, you know what I mean, without their knowledge. So can you imagine if somebody does sing and write and actually has the intellect to do it, what they get when they put you under hypnosis?
So is that her right there?
Yeah, that's her.
Huh. Man, so, I mean, if they hear this, what are they going to say? Like,
I'm happy to. I couldn't wait to do it.
I get that, but like, what do you?
The thing is, see, I went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, regardless, but I beat all of their charges.
Okay.
So, right now, they don't want me saying nothing about it. You know, and they're like, I just hope he shuts up. You know, because they can't do anything about it now.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm comfortable. Just be like, yeah, now I can say it, and you can't. What are you gonna do? You're gonna rehash it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the music industry. Michael, I know you're in the music industry, but I don't think it's just the music industry. I mean, hell, you see, it could be a manager at McDonald's that abuses his power, you know, with his employees because, you know, he's human. He's trying to get whatever he's trying to get from somebody.
Yeah, promises are promises. But to your point, people who have influence in the industry can just say a word and get someone a record deal or something like that.
The thing is that once you cross lines that they crossed, where you're drugging somebody and you're taking intellectual property for gain, and then you turn around and try to destroy and make that person disappear, that's a whole lot different than getting a blowjob because you're a manager at McDonald's. You know what I mean? That's a big, big freaking difference.
I think they're both a pretty gross abuse of power. Yeah. I think stealing the intellectual property, in my opinion, I'm not saying you have to agree, is a lot less than drugging somebody. Drugging somebody is crazy.
Yeah, I completely
crazy.
Feel that. I mean, multiple felonies occurred, and the only person that ever got charged with a felony was me on a frivolous lie. You know what I mean?
Because if you truly drug somebody, there's that, right?
Yeah.
And it could be almost like attempted murder. Then if you move somebody while they're in that state, you got kidnapping.
Yeah, the charges are crazy.
And then continue to drug them for a period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, if I steal something from you, like, a song, I mean, that sucks. And I'm sure an artist probably thinks that's one of the worst things in the world. And I get it. But drugging somebody, to me, just... I can't wrap my mind around that. It's crazy.
And then add hypnosis on top of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're already in a different state of mind, and then they got somebody that's shutting you down, turning you off, shutting you down, and extracting what they want.
Did anything else happen while you were drugged up?
I remember fragments and bits and pieces. You know what I mean? Like I don't have. If I had the whole complete thing, there might be something in there that I wish didn't ever happen, but I only have fragments and pieces of what I can recall, and a lot of it is like I recall conversations with certain people that were there.
But you don't remember anything like sexual or anything like that?
Man, I'm a pretty ugly dude. I don't think nobody really wants me. Not that way, and I don't think that was their. That's not what they were after. The thing that they were after is intellectual property theft.
Huh. Wow. That's crazy. Why wouldn't they just do it in another way? Like if I was I don't know, someone who had studios and stuff like that, if I can get someone in there without signing any contracts and recording some stuff, then I could kind of steal stuff that way or other ways. I don't know. I don't know.
I think that would be a lot harder to accomplish. You know what I mean? You actually had them in studio. You have recorded time and documented. You know what I mean? For this way, they get what they want and nothing's documented. It's your word against theirs. So more how I take it.
Yeah. Wow.
It's wild.
So that's, you know what I mean? Can we move on from this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't even in my list of questions, man.
We opened up with that, but it's like a rabbit hole, bro, and it's pretty bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, when you bring up Johnny Cash, I was a fan. I was a major fan.
But that's not him. Like if I had a grandson that was a piece of...
I feel that way at times. Like
I
can't hold what his grandson did against him.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel that way, but there's other things that I've looked up during the like going through all of this and trying to sort everything out, where I feel as if this ain't the first time it's happened, bro. They've been doing this to people for a long time.
You mean generations?
Yeah, generations of what this is. You come to Nashville and you're alone and they know you're a songwriter, you're targeted before you even realize that they're coming for you.
Like the Cash family.
Yeah, and they do this on a regular. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm not just one person that this has happened to.
What else did you find that led you to think that
there's this documentary about this dude. He's like a one-man band, and he's got a sound and a look and an image of everything that you would see in Roy Orbison. And he goes into Nashville and they're having this big old gathering. And they listen to him. They tell him, hey, we're going to do a recording session. He's all excited, boom, boom, boom. And then they get him, they take him, and then he comes back, and all of a sudden he packs up his gear, disappears from the rest. Nobody ever hears from him again. And then a few years later, Roy Orbison, I don't know if you could think it was a few years. I think it was like that same exact year. Roy Orbison's got the same look, same image, and he's doing the same type of music. You know what I mean? So that's what made me think they've been doing this for a long time.
How was Roy Orbison related to Johnny Cash?
They were neighbors, and they business associates is more
Oh,
how I
okay.
would put
Not
it.
direct relation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know they were related, so that makes sense. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, one of the questions I had for you was kind of along the same lines of what you're talking about, like the difficulties of breaking into the industry and kind of all the hurdles you have to get through with that.
It's more than hurdles, man. Like if you really, I mean, some people are lucky and they get a connection and people want to exploit their work. You know what I mean? Where other people can put out the best work ever. You know what I mean? And they want the music. The record companies and the big labels, they want your music. They want your style. But they don't want you. They just want the same 200 artists that they already pay. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically they collect a pot. They collect a pot for all of, BMI gets this, the record labels get this, and they try their hardest not to distribute that money as much as they can. So they keep 200 people at the top at all times. They really don't want nobody breaking their cycle.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty common term is a music industry plant, right?
Yeah.
They have people. That's what people call Drake. He did the same thing. He exploited a lot of artists, stole their music, or allegedly stole their music. A lot of people claimed it. They would write with him in his studios for long periods. He would promise them stuff over and over, and then he would just take their music like, I need this for my record. I'll pay you back later, and it never happens. And, I mean, because when someone's got the magic, right, but they have the guy that everybody likes already, well, like, let's take that magic and just pretend like he did it.
Yeah, like me. I mean, if I got into something like that, I don't have the music personality. I feel like things like that develop over years of being in it. Like you become a character. Like you become like you mold yourself into something that is like that. So if somebody
that's another thing. Like, so in my mind, I think like you. I'm a builder. My dad was in construction and everything. Sports. If you want to be the best at sports, you got to train. You got to put your effort and your time. So when people say that I'm not a songwriter, you know what I mean, that I don't have the education or I don't have this, I took 4 years of online courses in literature, arts, you know what I mean, just to make sure that I had some kind of documentation that I had taken them. But I have written songs every day continuously for the past 9 years. I have like mentally made sure every day you're going to write about something. You know what I mean? And I don't feel that like when people talk about me, it's like you don't know what you're doing. You're nobody. You know what I mean? Like, and in any profession that you do, you're supposed to get better. You know what I mean? But when it comes to me as a songwriter, that's not how they look at me. It hurts pretty bad. You know what I mean? So it's like, how many songs do I have to write? How much do I have to prove? At what point are you gonna say, hey man, this dude, he put in a lot of effort in what he does? You know, I'm not getting that response.
Yeah, I definitely see in you the personality of an artist. I know artists. I have artists that are friends that perform, in stadiums and stuff, and I can never see myself doing that because, one, I just don't do it. It's not something I do, and two, getting in front of a bunch of people and performing something like that, it's not my thing.
When I first started, all I wanted to do was be a writer. I didn't want to be an artist at all. As I came across so many obstacles, I was like, well, if that's what they want, is a stage monkey, somebody that's going to get up there and, entertain, then I'll do it. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes, to start having some success, and all this time and effort and all these years that I put into this, it still hasn't broke.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've tried a lot of different avenues, I think.
I've tried a lot of different avenues.
Yeah. And one of the ones more recently that I've seen that's pretty interesting, it's pretty cool, is AI, and how you've kind of used that a little bit with some of definitely the effects, like what would you call that? The graphics of the videos.
The graphics I do I'm using, like, I started doing it all with just GIFs, and I got to the point where I made a whole video, a music video, and produced for a song, all with just the motion, like animation and GIFs, and I mean, it's
GIFs, GIFs.
Yeah, there's the little stickers, and some of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
move, and
I didn't. But that must have been a while ago, because the ones I've seen recently don't have that.
No, the ones I'm doing now are I'm using another free platform because I'm poor, but I take little snippets from them and I edit, and then I go into Instagram and I edit it all together, add whatever effects. I used to have a whole bunch of effects, but now they limited it down, so they're starting to look all the same. But I still have fun doing it.
Yeah, man, we need some of that. We need some of that cool effects on some of our shorts.
Oh yeah, dude, check them out.
Michael's like, I'm busy, man. Until we start making money, man, I got work to do. Yeah.
But that was, the goal is to break through enough to where it starts to turn a buck, and I can upgrade my equipment and start doing something more. You know what I mean? I don't. Nobody wants to sit in the situation I am. You don't do something for 20 years of your life and get the same cycle and never get forward. That's how I feel, like I'm spinning my wheels in the mud all the time,
But you love it.
No, I don't love spinning my wheels.
No. Not spinning your
I know
wheels.
what you're saying. I do.
You love music.
I love what I do because I can't stop doing it. It's have you ever done drugs?
No, not really.
At one point in my life, I was a crack dealer and smoking crack, and there was like you don't want to say you're an addict or admit it. You just think you're just partying. You know what I mean? And you tell yourself, I ain't gonna smoke that. I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? So you end up finding yourself like Pookie, and you got the glass pipe in your mouth, and you're like, and once you're done, get with the high, like you're happy for the few minutes, but then you're like, fuck, why did I do that? Why? You know what I mean? Because you're an addict. You know what I mean? You have to admit the facts that you didn't have enough willpower not to do it. And that's how songwriting has become for me. It's like I'm addicted to doing it, and I can't stop doing it no matter how bad it hurts. Every time I write a song, every time I put a song together, and I think, oh, this might be the one, and then it fails again. Mm-hmm. You feel like that same bad feeling you would have when you did crack. You know what I mean? You're high, you get high, and you got all these hopes, and then you're down.
Wow, that example, that mm-hmm. comparison, that analogy mm-hmm. is intense, and so that's how intense you are about music.
Yeah, but I can't stop doing it. I've tried to many times. Said that's it. I ain't writing no more. I give up.
Why stop though? I mean,
because it doesn't benefit me. It's my life is very, very, very poor and impoverished because I spend a lot of time doing videos, promotion, a lot of time trying to write the songs, and I'm not, you know what I mean? Like other friends I have, my brother, they focused on electrical careers, and they have their homes, and I'm still renting little tiny apartments and trying to just scrape by, you know what I mean? Oh, it's not that bad. Life is life, you know what I mean? But it is bad when you're struggling for money. Everybody likes to be in a comfortable situation, you know?
I do know what you mean, especially with this podcast. Michael and myself, we work full time, and you can't spend time with the podcast like we want to. Yeah. I know Michael would want to. We just can't. You don't have time if you have to make money, and if you're going to really spend the amount of time. Like if we are going to spend the amount of time on the podcast that we need to grow it to bigger numbers. Or much bigger numbers, I should say, rather than bigger numbers, to much bigger numbers, then we'd have to spend basically full time. On it.
It becomes a job in itself. You know what I mean? And I've put in so much time and effort into this. Like I feel like I went so far out, there ain't no turning back. There's no way for me to. What am I supposed to do now? I've spent 30 years of my life writing songs and being a songwriter and. I mean, I do construction. I do know this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I go back to it, it's like I'm the labor dude. I'm not the boss. I'm not the the guy that's running the crew. You know what I mean?
You know just enough to help.
No, I have knowledge. My knowledge is extensive. You know what I mean? But
okay.
But I'm not I'm not a business owner. I'm not the subcontractor himself. I'm not making a decent living at what I do. I just pay. I barely
You're spending the extra time
yeah.
writing and promoting.
I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have a way to turn around and fix where I've went to this far. You know what I mean? I have no choice. Either make it or don't make it.
Yeah, and I mean lately, I hear you, man. That's intense. That's yeah. And I've wasted a lot of years of my life to dumb. Not that what you're. Not that the music is dumb stuff, but
in a way, it is. You know what I mean? Because I already know that most people don't make it. You know what I mean? Like it's a very, very hard, difficult thing to accomplish. I already know that the systems are rigged. You know what I mean? And yet, like I said, for some weird reason, I keep defying saying, just give up, call it a wraps. I keep trying to do it. Like, I'm going to succeed. One day I'm going to succeed. And I can't stop that thought.
Yeah. And you've gone pretty hard recently. I've been watching your posts because I didn't remember that we met in person, but I knew that I made contact with you through that inquiry about that place I had over there. And then we were just, I don't remember how it happened, friends on Facebook. Mm. And then your posts have been like, is it almost every day?
It's every day.
Yeah.
I am trying to, they tell you, like, you look at videos and stuff, like, how do you make your growth? How do you do this? How do you do that? And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. So I've exhausted every avenue and still ain't nothing working.
Yeah. Yeah. You're definitely dedicated for sure, man. So what is next for you and for
so the next thing I'm doing now is that I have these 200 songs released. I'm gonna see if I can promote the hell out of them, see if anything catches, gets traction. I mean, that's a big catalog compared to most artists in this world, you know what I mean? So and then on top of that, people should already know that that's just the tip of the iceberg. I still have another 4,500 that are written, and I still write every day, you know what I mean? So I want to upgrade my equipment and just keep hitting it as hard as I can until something sticks. I don't know any other way to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know any other way, but to win by sheer willpower and volume. Like, at some point, once I'm at 1,000, you're talking about, like, he's written more songs. He's got more catalog than Bob Dylan. He's got this, that. At some point, you're going to have to recognize me. At some point, you're gonna have to. You have no more choice. You know what I mean? And that's basically all I'm hoping for. Is to keep going.
And consistency with that. Yeah. So wow, you've got that many songs. So you just need to put music with the songs.
Yeah, and
you've written.
And the music for most of the songs, I already have it. It's in my mind, or it's a melody, a tune. Like, when I say it, when I read it again, sometimes it takes me a while to relog it because there's so many of them, but I already have it. And then I start to do it and get the music going. And I had a tool that's how I made 200 songs real quick, was with the AI. You know what I mean? Because I can use Vocella with vocals, and then I can select the instrument. And then once I got something that's pretty good, then I can run it through the AI, get me back a track that's really, really good, and then bam, 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 I'm working. Boom, boom. It's just mix it down, and then run it back through AI again and have it do what an engineer would do, polish it up. All of it comes back, boom, I'm ready. You know what I mean? But that is no longer available for me, so I'm back to doing it a little bit slower.
Yeah. Hey, so obviously you've heard some of the new AI music that's been put
I've heard
out.
a lot of it, you know what I mean? But
I would imagine
there's when I listen to it, there's no, like it's they put their lyrics maybe, or they generate the lyrics, and then they hit the button, and you could tell right away, like blah, 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 this is a repeat of blah, blah, blah. And that's just kind of how AI works. Like, even if you get on Chat GPT and you ask it something, it gives you a real quick basic boom, 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 slap together. And if you want something more detailed, you're going to have to sit there, explain it, get back something that's not good enough, go back, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So you could tell when it's just something basic versus when somebody is actually like that's different because he did something different. I don't know what he did, but it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the part where I try not to let people know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like when they redo the songs from that already exist. Like they put out that 50 Cent album. Did you hear that?
I've seen it. I mean, they've done multiples of it.
Yeah.
Of like him in, if it was like 1952. Or
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty cool. That was like I think that was the first one I heard.
Yeah.
I
I think the last one I seen was like, I'll take you to the candy shop, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But so that one came out, and then I don't know which ones were first or anything, but that's the first one that I heard. And then I've heard some since then, but I've recently read something where now anything, and maybe we were talking about this too, where I don't know, maybe we didn't talk about it, or we messaged, we weren't
Maybe
talking.
it's possible, but I need to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that now if you generate something through AI, the
Oh yeah, so this
they
is
own
why,
it now.
Yeah, that's why I can't use it. See, before, so if I have a melody, a tune, or I sing a certain vocal way, I could add it to the AI and then get a regeneration back. But now it's going to be structured as if no matter what my input is, because they processed it, it's theirs. You know what I mean? So you're giving up all your rights. So that tool for me now no longer exists. So I'm just happy that I got 200 songs. Well, I could. You know what I mean? That's a get it and getting while the getting is good.
So
all I can think of.
So is nobody able to own their own songs at all, or even a portion of them?
Well, see, they'll probably own a portion of them, but when you're broken down, like when the record industry is going to say you can't, number one, you no longer have distribution. You can't release that song. It's not, you know what I mean? If they do let you release it, they're going to say that they own all the music. You might own the lyrics, and then did you use AI to generate them lyrics? Can you prove that them are your lyrics? So you're gonna just,
or if they've corrected your lyrics a little bit,
you're gonna basically relinquish pretty much all of your rights before they're done with you. You know what I mean? So I mean, people are gonna keep using it. You know what I mean? But
for sure.
But
yeah,
I can imagine. So like some of the distribution avenues you have for a small artist, like CD Baby or something, right? You create this music, you put it into CD Baby, and it's gonna scan it. And if they're holding the rights, right, because they processed it, once you run it through CD Baby, before you can put it anywhere, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, it's gonna say, "Oh, this was AI generated. You don't own it. You can't do this." Or you can, but all the money that's ever made off of it is going to go straight to the company.
Yeah, you will not own, like, as soon as you do it, they'll know exactly what company you did it through, which is now, so Suno belongs to Warner Music. You know what I mean? So anything that is generated through Suno is going to be a Warner product, a Warner Music product. And you're not their artist. You're not a signed artist, but you're using their music. So basically you stole from them.
So
how they'll look at it.
Wouldn't that affect any media content then? That could be, you make a short film, you make a movie, you make a podcast. Like when we do shorts and we run it through that AI generator where it's our video.
Yeah, it just puts, all it does is put the subtitles on it. And
yeah,
whatever.
the subtitles. Yeah.
Yeah, it could, if that company that's doing it chooses to own the rights, which more and more are, they're sending, all the time. If you use anything that uses AI, you get you get an email or whatever, and it says we're updating our policies, and they all say we own everything or whatever. So eventually it'll become just rampant through everything, but I guess, like you said, you got to get it while it gets good.
Yeah,
and then
that's
move
how
on.
I feel about it. You know what I mean? Like, it was great, and I got something accomplished that I didn't think I could ever get accomplished in the regular actual world. You know what I mean? But due to AI, I got to jump on something, and I feel like, hey man, I at least you know what I mean? Like say you're a gold miner back in the day, and you hit one lucky strike. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't know. Then maybe another million people didn't do it, but at least I did. You know what I mean? And it hasn't paid anything yet, but it at least put me from just writing on paper and having melodies in my mind into having a catalog that people can actually hear in a very, very fast time. And
Right.
I actually think that the songs are pretty good quality, pretty decent.
Yeah, because you're a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
You don't have the actual band or the music.
No, the like I have musical ability, but
Right.
I'm not a musician on like if you give me a trumpet, bro, I'm gonna sit there and it's gonna sound like I'm trying to blow in a kazoo or something. It's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I need a three trio horns for this section, and I want this, and I want violins on this, you know what I mean? I need to I like I said, I have the music, the melody, the tune, so I'll sit there and I'll be like, and then I run it through AI, show it what kind of instrument I want. I get it back. It's pretty good, but not good enough. Then I take it to another program, get it back in another stem, start mixing it. Once I got the full mix down and where my breaks are going to be, where all my lyrics lay out, I run it through, polish it up like an engineer would do.
Man, it's just kind of scary how they can just...
But I can't do that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how they can just come take everybody's property. It's just another fleecing of your art, just like you were speaking about earlier.
Yeah.
And how the people wanting to steal your art.
Yeah.
It's
and that's so. I would take it that now that there's AI music, if you're a songwriter with original content, you're even more valuable to them to target, because they need something original that they can, you know what I mean? They have the network where they walk in and they have the best studio musicians. They have the engineers. They have everything it takes to make that song profitable. And they deliver it when they deliver it to the music industry, they own all of it. They don't have to worry about like, oh, I had to generate it with AI, or I had to do this and that with, you know what I mean? So they have a product they know they're going to get a return on. Whereas other people, they do it because they have this dream and this hope and they want something, but there's really no avenue to get it.
So you make music, Michael. You're in a band. You guys make music. Have you talked with your bandmates, and have you thought about that AI could affect the industry in the sense that it's going to put out music and very similar to the music that's out there, and then how much that'll affect
It's already
your industry?
I thought about it, and I don't see it as a bad thing for musicians. I actually find it to be a better thing for musicians. The reason being is because people like me now need a band. I need that big band, and I need them musicians. So if like, and I love the fact that I'm back home in Denver, because there's so many jazz musicians here that are great. You know what I mean? So if they see the potential that they didn't see before, you know what I mean? Now they might start to come towards me and be like, hey, we would like to be that big band. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm hoping, is for this to turn into a snowball effect, into where you can't deny me anymore. I'm doing it.
But I mean, for the industry as a whole, though,
The one that was losing was demo recordings and like some studio musicians that work in demo recording places. But that was already dying. It was dying because of home studios. You know what I mean? The only thing that AI does is just make that producer that's in a home studio better at what he does. And even now, that doesn't count, because if you use their product, you're not better. You're gonna pay them for that. You know what I mean? You'll give up your rights to the main label. So
I saw this recently, and I don't know what the AI generation model was or whatever that's making this music, but there was one specific model that's generating, it was like 7 million songs a day.
Wow.
You add that up every week, it's creating the entirety of Spotify's current catalog.
It's almost 50 million songs.
Right. That's the entirety of what Spotify has on their catalog, which is insane, right?
You got to remember that probably about 85 to 90% of them songs are them putting in the lyrics and letting the thing generate it. You know what I mean? It's not like they put any effort at all into it.
But AI is advancing, and eventually it's going to make
and that's the
everything.
thing. So now Warner went and told them they want them to extend to their full catalog, as well as have their artist participate. So that means what I'm guessing at is, if I say, okay, I want to use Eminem for the rap and I want to use this one for the vocals, so these artists no longer will ever have to actually be in your studio. You know what I mean? You'll be able to select whoever you want, whomever. You know what I mean? I want Mariah Carey here, and then I want this, and then I want the music like this, and it'll generate that whole thing, but you don't own it. It will belong to Warner Music, and the royalties will be split between its artists that you selected.
But the thing that you still are, that's always going to be needed, right? So you already see it. Say you're on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and you're scrolling through or whatever, and you see all these shorts or videos that are AI generated. There's huge amounts of them, right? And you can almost always tell, and it's getting better and better. But it's not, like you said, it's almost always it's a remix of something that's already happened.
Yeah.
And with music, people have been writing music for, as long as we've been around, and still you can listen to something new and say, I've never heard that before. It's because there's some like magic in the songwriting, and I don't think AI is ever going to be able to harness that. And you still need the songwriters.
And I find that too, because like, no matter what, the artificial intelligence does not have an ability to create. It can reproduce from logic, but it doesn't recreate. So you might get something that is similar, but it won't be what you're actually, you know what I mean? Like if somebody actually created it. The difference of what I'm doing is I actually create, then run it through and get it back like a master. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just polishing up what I've already done.
Now, though.
Now, but I can't do it anymore.
No, what I'm saying, in the future, AI most likely will have those capabilities to just...
Hopefully not. I hope that AI is limited to a point where it never can actually create.
There's some very interesting interviews with one in particular that I like is that I watch. He has a lot of interviews about the AI industry with a lot of people that are from that industry. Is Diary of a CEO. I think he's a British guy, I think. He has a lot of people on his podcast that talk about the AI industry. Check out his channel. That it's pretty wild, the stuff they say. And they talk about where we're at now with the AI technology and how it is going to compound and grow.
When AI, I'd say about the same time that ChatGPT first was released, a few years back, I had written a song about what I thought AI was going to become in the future. And what my mind was thinking was that, like, with algorithms, they'll know exactly what demographic likes what kind of music.
All that.
And so you could get the hit of the day. It won't even, you like every morning when you wake up, this is the song for your town right now.
They'll take the weather. They'll take the time of year.
It'll be perfect, bro. Everything, you know what I mean? It'll just fit the mood for the 99%.
It might even talk about the weather. It might even talk about the weather of the day. I mean, it's 70 degrees outside. Going to go for a walk.
We know exactly what you like. You know,
100%.
Yeah. There's still something it's not going to be able to do.
Well, you're
okay. Like, what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Think about this. Songs in, like, say, the Billboard Top 20, come and gone 100 times. Songs I've heard 100 times. I couldn't pull up in my head. They went in and they went out. Forgotten hits, one-hit wonders.
Sure.
And then think about a guy like we were talking about, Bob Dylan. He is not the best performer. He's not a great singer. He's good at the guitar, but he's a good songwriter. And he's created some of the most memorable songs And he's not like AI is going to try to, it's always going to try to make it the best, right? I feel like it's not going to say, okay, we're not going to make this guy sing super good.
Right.
It's always going to put the best in there. It's going to try to generate what's going to click with you right then. But it's not, but is it going to be able to say, okay, we're going to take this guy who's a great songwriter, but he's not the best singer, which is like, which you keep bringing up. You're like, I'm not the musician, but I can write the songs. It's very like Bob Dylan-esque.
So for your band, you play the drums.
Right.
And drums to me have always been the heartbeat of any song in any band. And for me, and for someone else, it might be something different. And to your point, when I go around somebody who plays drums and they hit those drums and I feel it in my chest coming from that drum set.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah. Because there's expression within the way you play the instrument too. Drums, like a drum beat is just mathematics, right? And some drummers are very like super precise. They always hit it exactly the same. And they have crazy, like metal drummers, they're very mathematical. They can play crazy rudiments over top of each other and they have crazy limb independence. And then there's other drummers, jazz, especially jazz drummers who play with a lot of heart and soul. And every strike on every drum head and cymbal can be slightly different in a way that like, that's just something, I don't know. I have a hope that AI would never be able to reproduce because
I don't think the AI can do that. I mean, they can take a sound and try to simulate it, but as in, no, they can't create. That's what I mean. There's a difference. AI is able to create currently. Right. But doesn't, I mean, like I see these videos and stuff and they're saying the next generation of AI and what do they call it? Super intelligent or something like that. And I'm like, well, what is the next thing they're going to do? And are we ever going to limit it? I mean, how far are they going to let this go? You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, but I'm hoping that it's like, how would you say it? Like if somebody's sterile, bro, you know what I mean? There's no way that they're going to ever make a child. Right. You know what I mean? So hopefully that like in that situation digitally, it's just not feasible. It can't happen. Yeah, no matter what you do, it can't happen.
AI doesn't have feeling.
Yeah, it has nothing. It's a machine.
And can it? Is there a way they can make it try and reproduce feelings? Maybe, but I think feeling is just all the time. You write some music and you're like, that doesn't quite make sense, but it works, and I don't know why. And I would hope that AI can't figure that out.
The one thing I think it does have an ability on is like you can put in emotion as a prompt, and you can get something that it fits the vibe. Right. And that right there from a lot of songs can cut it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can say make it like heartwarming.
Yeah, and it's pretty much like sitting in a room with seasoned musicians and being like, I'm going for this, I'm going for that, and then they sit there and they, will show us how you're gonna sing, and you start to do the delivery. They get the chord, the notes, and then all of a sudden they give you their rendition, and you either agree or you don't agree. Nah, let's try something else. You know what I mean? It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with you guys because I watch a lot of this stuff, and a lot of these chips that they make are insane, and the processing speeds that they have and the advancements they're making on this stuff, to me it's scary. And I think it's just gonna topple everything. I think it's gonna take away everything from us.
The one thing that I did see that I really like made me think, well, they're musicians, you know what I mean, is when I see them playing the piano or playing a violin, and they're like playing a rendition of Mozart that's flawless, you know what I mean? And that's like, well, if you have 5 of those robots and they're all programmed for one's on the bass, one's on the drums, you pretty much you have a full band of whatever you want, whenever you want. You know what I mean? Well, play this now, play that now. Instant jukebox, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out soon because what is it? 26. So they're saying 27 is going to really start speeding up on AI. And they said between 2027 and between 2030, you're going to see all of it happen. It's going to get nuts, they said. So it's right here, right now. We're going to find out super fast. So,
well, I mean, we'll see. If the music industry intends on holding the stronghold that they have, I'm pretty sure they're going to limit it in music. They're going to be like, no, this is not acceptable. And if it is going to be acceptable, we own it somehow, way, shape, or form.
They just did it, though. They're changing all their policies
it,
to where they own the music.
But as for how am I going to say it? Like, you can't go and put a whole bunch of bands out into the public that have no kind of substance behind them. He's not, you know what I mean? Right. Like, oh, this was all AI generated and this is our front man.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like people are going to reject.
You're going to have to either have robots on stage just doing movements, or you're going to have a screen.
But you're right.
Of images.
They'll need to narrow the use of it so that they can use it and profit off of it. But not every Joe Schmo sitting in their basement with a subscription to whatever can pump out music and then put it online and have it be just as good as their music. I see what you're saying about like, oh, Eminem is one of our signed artists.
Yeah.
He signed his intellectual property, his voice or whatever over to us.
So you're using this.
We can generate
and then, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's going to be just as good as the studio quality. And, you know what I mean? It could be radio produced, but it's not yours. It's ours, and that's our artists, and these are our contracts, and we're going to get paid. And that's how I see what it is, the next move is, the next step is.
Do you think they'll have AI artists?
I believe that, just like you said, you like the 50 Cent rendition.
But it's still 50 Cent. There's no like AI artists.
Oh, yeah. No, there was like in the top. But it was probably 6 months ago in the top like 6% or 10% of Spotify listens was an AI artist. And a lot of people were
total new artists.
Yeah, completely generated. Even the artwork was AI generated. And people, they say like it's something like 95% of people can't tell the difference between AI music and, musician, human produced music.
You know how many people cannot tell the difference between AI shorts and reality? I just read the comments on there and it's like, what? Like, this didn't happen. I'll even find myself throwing a comment in there. I'm like, you guys know this didn't happen, right?
They're like, I didn't know elephants could do backflips. Like,
I'm like, you can just Google this and know it didn't happen.
So I seen this one, right? And he's a big old fat dude and he's standing on a porch on a balcony, and he leans forward and the whole balcony falls, and I was like, damn, that looks real. Poor dude. And he hit the floor, and I was like, oh, it's AI, bro. He would be dead.
The guys that were doing the concrete in the garage, one of the old guys was sitting out on the wall out there, and he was on his phone and he's laughing, he's doing shorts, and the guy's like in his 50s. So I told it was Jose's son, the owner's son, who's like in his 30s. I said, the old guy's watching shorts. That's kind of funny to see an older guy watching shorts. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, these guys, that's all they do. They sit there and just watch shorts and they laugh and they just keep going. And then he told me, he said, the worst thing is they believe half these AI videos are real. Mm-hmm. And then they come to me because these guys are like, they're from Mexico. They don't speak good English. So they see these videos and sometimes they don't know what they're saying on it because it's in English. And so they'll come to I forget Jose's son's name. I forget his name, but they'll come to him and they'll say, "Look at what's going on over there's we're going to war, or there's something to happen, or the guy did the backflip on the balcony or something." He's like, "I have to tell these dudes all the time, that's not real. Stop. Yeah. It's not real."
Yeah, it's convincing.
But you look at the comments and people are commenting like it's really real. No, they believe it. They're like, "Oh my God."
Another one that I'm kind of freaking out like. Before I was trying to make all these videos on my own to promote myself, and now like I mean, you can take any product, anything, they'll mock it up, it moves, it does this and that. So I mean, like even in retail and what you're selling, I'm wondering if people are just gonna go numb to it. You know what I mean? Like I don't care what it is, what product you sell, I don't care what it is. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And
people get used to things.
Yeah, and like it doesn't matter how high a quality you do. Like you might have seen something funny for a Super Bowl at one time and it was memorable. Like, oh man, that was cool. You know what I mean? In an ad, but now it's like anybody can make it, and it's just it's like to the point where it deadens the senses. Like nothing, and I'm hoping not, but I mean, if people get to that point where music isn't stimulating. Entertainment is not entertaining, then we just lost our humanity.
What was one of the first cars, like the Model T Ford?
Yeah.
What if somebody came out like a couple years after the first car back then they roll up in a G-Wagon, a 2026 Mercedes G-Wagon. Everybody would have been like, it's a spaceship, you know?
Yeah.
They thought the Model T was crazy at that time. So,
but I agree with you. I think there's this, I mean, I feel like I see it in general. Everything is moving to this point where everything's so fast. Everything is so stimulating that people are reaching further and further to feel like, I'm a big fan of metal music. And I've seen like over the past like 5 years, I've seen the fandom of metal bands just increasingly grow. Is maybe because there's more people, but also I think because it's more aggressive. It's much more stimulating than a lot of what you would hear on the radio. So like bands that years ago, you know, even big metal bands, they'd have, you know, on Spotify, they'd have like 200,000 listeners. Now they have like 3 million listeners. Like they're just growing. And I have a feeling it's because like everything is so stimulating and people just need more and more to feel something.
Do you think a lot of that's the technology of it getting to other countries too, and people able to get on to Spotify in other countries?
It could be. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Like just the access growing.
You're right.
Yeah.
I differ with that because I remember when Facebook and stuff first came out, you could release a song and you get 1 million views in one night. You know what I mean? You blow up overnight and you still wouldn't get any kind of success. Now you get on there and you could spend hours to create some content and you get 55 views. If you're lucky, maybe 500. You know what I mean? 1,000. You know what I mean? But you're not getting millions like you used to. And that was like some people did abuse bots, but there was, for the average person, when Facebook first came out, you were global and you knew it because you were getting comments from France. Do you get any return responses from France, Germany, Uruguay anymore? You don't see none of that. You know what I mean? All you see is just a little window that they allow you to see, constantly trying to break the algorithm outside of that window.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that historical stuff because I personally have only been involved in social media really when we started this podcast a couple of years ago. So I don't have anything to compare it to. Yeah.
Yeah, when Facebook first started, man, it was like wide open to the world, and people were going viral overnight. It was like, you know what I mean? That's how you got them Gundam dudes and this and that. You know what I mean? It was like because they could hit a video, and if people watched it, it blew up. You know, nobody goes viral anymore like that. You know what I mean? And they shut it down purposely, intentionally. It's an industry, you know what I mean? We can't have that. It messes up our top 200 and our money plot, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think people still go viral. I think
they do.
You got to be wild enough to go viral.
But to your point, like there's a reason why TikTok became so popular is because the TikTok algorithm is more focused on showing you what you're interested in rather than showing you what the algorithm thinks that you should be seeing. So TikTok is used like by creators as a platform to find their audience and then shift them to a platform like Instagram or YouTube and keep them there. Because all of these like legacy, they're not that old, but like all of these legacy media platforms are so like they're dialed in. Whoever's big already puts something out and it puts it in front of everybody rather than showing you what you're really, really interested in or what they can tell from what you look at, what you would be more interested in.
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember the first time maybe that you went off of Google and you went to look at something to shop, and then you go back to social media and it's got that product in 10 different varieties? It's basically the same thing. So if you know what I mean, I clicked on this and I watched this reel, then you're going to get a feed of them things over and over again.
For sure. That one makes sense to me because you put it out there on the internet.
Yeah.
I remember the first times that I would just be talking with somebody about something and then open your phone and the advertisement pops up for that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's the stuff that spooked me out. And I was like, I remember everybody's flipping out over that. Now nobody even mentions it anymore.
Because I think
like you said, you get normal to things.
Either that or we are
or get used to things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you just write it off as, oh yeah, that's
the way it is now.
But when I'm talking about art, becoming normalized to art is not good. You know what I mean? Like if there's nothing that a human can do to entertain you anymore, you're pretty much emotionally dead. You're like a walking zombie. You know what I mean? Like basically, you're on some kind of Prozac that don't exist yet, but it's getting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I was thinking about that yesterday, actually. It's weird that you mentioned that because I'm like, I like to work out. I like to do jiu-jitsu. I like running, which I don't do a lot and I need to get back into. But there's a lot of everything I like to do is physical. But I thought about it. I thought that most people don't like to do physical things. They like to do other things, which is fine. I'm not saying everybody has to work out to have fun, but people like to do other things. And I was thinking about this AI thing, and I was like, well, how are they going to get stimulated in those other things with the use of AI? And I could see where AI was going to stimulate them in a lot of those other things. And then I started picturing people just getting out of shape and fat and unhealthy. And I was worried about it. I was just like, man, I just started stressing out about it. It was some movie trailer came up that made me think about it. I forgot what the movie trailer was. It was some weird thing that was like AI. You know, there's these AI movies coming out now.
Yeah, and now that's another thing. Like, okay, so I'm impressed with all of these ways I can make different ads now, and I can promote, and it doesn't cost me as much. And now I can compete with the same big artists, you know what I mean, that have $50,000 budgets, and I got zero budget, you know what I mean, and I'm amazed by it. But then I also think, well, how come nobody's talking about that industry, dude? Like you don't need actors anymore. You don't need cinema. Like you can write the whole skit out in a program, and AI will generate the whole film.
Oh yeah, they're talking about it. Yeah, I've seen things about
it. And I feel the same way. Like, oh, so you can get Scarlett Johansson, and then you can have this dude, then this dude, and that's who your characters are, and they're gonna play the roles that you want. And like I say, you're gonna pay.
Yeah, they're gonna have different names. They're not even gonna. Yeah,
I mean, you'll write your thing just like a normal screenplay, but you can select who you want to play that part, what star, but it doesn't belong to you.
You can create your own actor.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it will not belong to you. It's going to belong to MGM or whatever you need, whatever agreements you need to use to generate that. Sony, I think, is one of the strongest.
So you'll have independent films just like you do now, who make their own AI movies.
Yeah, but the actual, I mean, they'll probably give you a small fraction, but it'll be pennies, bro, pennies. You know what I mean? Compared to what a real screenwriter would have made.
It's gonna be interesting to see who owns what.
Yeah, but it's not interesting when you're poor.
No. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
When you're the broke writer, it's not interesting at all.
Yeah, there was a thing with the John Deere tractors, John Deere equipment for farmers.
Yeah.
So the technology changed over time, and all the John Deere equipment had all this computerized stuff in it, and you had to have John Deere come work on it because they were the only ones that could work on it.
Yeah.
And basically
all their technology.
Yeah.
And basically there was something in the contract that says that John Deere still has proprietary rights over your farm equipment, even though these farmers are saying, I spent $1 million on that.
Yeah.
I bought this huge thing, whatever it is, that cost me $500,000.
You never actually own it. This is ours. And
yeah.
You know, but I can understand that, not to the point where they're trying to own your livelihood, you know what I'm saying? But they probably have technology in there that they don't want people to take down and reproduce. They don't, you know what I mean? So if you're not working for us, you don't get in.
Same thing with the AI. They probably have technology that they don't want.
Well, I'm pretty sure the AI that we have is super more less than what they already have.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're way behind on what they already know that they're going to unleash on us. So that's the point where I said, at what point does society say we don't need no more? We're good. Right there, that's the limit. Cutoff point.
Man.
Yeah, but the problem is that the actors creating the AI, right? They're
if you do it by law, I mean, that's why there's places like the Food and Drug Administration and stuff like that. If they did actually say that's the cutoff point, we do not go beyond this. Yeah. If you do it, that's a crime. That would shut it down.
There's I don't remember what it was. It might have been it wasn't Sam Altman. It was one of the head guys at one of these AI companies that said, like, this isn't right. We need to stop. And actually, no, it was Elon Musk back in the day. He said everybody needs to stop generating AI and we need to lay down some rules and figure out how this is going to work. Yeah. And everybody said, because the government wasn't doing it, and everybody said no, or they just kept doing what they were doing. And then he said, well, if you can't stop them, then join them. So he made his own.
Or beat them. Yeah.
Which is maybe the most unhinged of all of them.
I don't know what he's done with it. You know what I mean? I know he's got a lot of money and he's into a lot of different things, but
we're about to find out.
Yeah,
that's for sure. 2027, they said, is the year. For some reason, they keep saying that is the year, and then they said exponentially between there and 2030, they said AI is going to change everyone's lives.
Like I said, I see things where they say, "Oh well, it enhances and you could do this and it helps you do better," and in some ways I see it. You know what I mean? Like when I ran it through the thing, I don't need an engineer. I don't need this. I see it. But there's other times where I use it and I just get frustrated and just want to throw my phone like, you piece of shit. You're just giving me regurgitated stuff I could look on the internet for myself.
Remember, these are first generations. Yeah. It's going to advance.
So, and that's where I said like it's kind of peace settling, knowing that it can't create, knowing that it can't do you know what I mean? Like unless you actually specifically detail each little thing, it can't figure it out on its own. Mm-hmm. But if it surpasses that, it's probably going to be pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's the talk of like, it's going to do everything for us, so then we can just like sit back and relax. But that's not things wouldn't work that way, right? There's physical labor. There's still things that have to happen.
That's the thing that I mean, like we really don't know yet. I watch and I see some videos where it looks like they can do all construction phases on automated systems, and you know what I mean. Like if we do start, then I guess we'll all learn what it's like to be the broke songwriter.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's, I mean, from what we can see, right, there's not a whole lot of forethought and planning into how it's going to affect civilization, and they're just going for it. So we are just going to have to deal with it as it goes, and it's going to.
I think when Musk said that, he probably had a pretty good idea that this is, you know what I mean, something we need to take a little bit slower and, you know what I mean? But since they didn't, we like he said, we're about to find out.
Watch The Diary of a CEO. He's got a lot of people. I think Sam Altman might be on one of his guests. Those type of guys, right? Yeah. Those type of people that are in the AI industry that are in there. There was one guy, I forget who it was. He was like, in the host, I forget who the host is of that podcast, the British guy. But he said, I feel a little depressed or like hopeless. He's like, what do we do? And the guy said, go home, hug your family, live your life, because there's nothing you can do to change it. It's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, when you go into a McDonald's now and you see 4 people and the kiosk is there, you know what I mean? You start to realize, hey, this is the new way. You know what I mean? Like, pretty soon probably there won't be one manager or one maintenance person that can handle the kiosk and whatever machines might break. You know what I mean?
Maintenance robot.
Yeah, one maintenance, and even that. You know what I mean? Don't even need that guy.
A maintenance robot.
But what a world where you're gonna go out into the world and not have interactions with human beings.
It's fucked up, man.
That's gonna cause all sorts of other problems.
We have to force ourselves to stop watching our phones. In fact, turn off this podcast. Just stop watching. Yeah. Just go do something, man. It's nuts.
I told Jeremiah the other day, I said, I was like, I don't know. It got me. Lately, I've been on my phone and I'm looking at these things and I keep going, I got to stop scrolling.
I'm doing good, dude. I don't.
I've been good for so long, and then it just got me, and then I stopped, and then like all of a sudden it was like, because I got sick. I was sick for like 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I was just laying there in bed, and I was like, what do I do? So I started watching these things, and now it's like, so you pull up your phone, and it's like a habit, and then I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
No, I'm flipped really bad on trying to see if the numbers increase. You know what I mean? Like, I put out the content and did it.
Well, if you're looking at your content, if you're looking at your content and you're posting and you're doing it's like a business at that point.
Yeah, but
when you're scrolling through other people's content, it's like, hey, stop.
It's still you're
take a break
when you add the time to it and all the time it takes to create.
For sure,
you realize, damn, bro, I could have just went and did another job and made a few $1,000s. What am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not perfect, but I can say lately I've been doing really good.
Yeah.
I don't scroll, no shorts. Zero. I don't like it. I just stop. Even if I catch myself, if one pops up, I'm like, I go to the thing and say show less shorts right away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I wish you could
doesn't
toggle
stay
that
away.
off.
That's my biggest complaint about all these platforms. Like YouTube, I always use I use it as an instructional platform a lot.
Sure.
Where I listen to podcasts through it, and then they integrate shorts. And you used to be able to say like, I don't want to see them, but now you just can't turn them off.
I wish they put that feature back.
They know, because I'll get on there. I'll just be like, oh, what's that? Well, it's only like a 10-second video.
And you said you have premium. I don't pay for YouTube, but you do, and you still can't turn them off.
Can't turn it off.
That's bad.
So I didn't even know what a short was, you know what I mean? And then I come to find out I've been watching them a lot. I was like, what is this? They said there's a whole nother market in shorts, you know what I mean? And I'm looking, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I've been doing that for the past 3 years.
I thought those were just, I thought that was normal. I post shorts.
Yeah. Oh, you gave it a name, huh?
I take our shorts from YouTube and I download them and then upload them into TikTok.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that. I'll post them, but I don't watch them. Thank God. Hopefully I can keep that going.
Now something like this podcast are probably better off than music, because we're talking and we're actually explaining things in different situations, how we view things.
So the human side of things.
It's got a more human effect of it than, you know what I mean? Because like you said, most people can't tell the difference between AI generated music or regular music, or if there was a real songwriter or not a songwriter, what all went into that production. You know what I mean? So something like this is much more personalized, you know what I mean? Humanized.
For sure. I think that's a great place to end.
Yeah.
Are you guys good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go tell them where to go find your music, please.
You can find my music on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Deezer, every one of the major platforms. I'm released from DistroKid right now. I'm distributed through DistroKid, so anything that DistroKid has is where you can find my music. And
can you text me a link?
Sure will.
Links to all your stuff, and we'll post them on this video.
One thing I want to make very clear, like a lot of people do say that my music is fake and that it's AI generated, and like I said, I've been writing way before AI ever even existed. I have documented years and years of my writing.
30 years you've been writing, right?
And the music, the melodies and things, I have put through computer. Like I said, I use different kinds of ways to formulate the music, because I don't have access to a big band, what I need for a band. And then I run it through, and I'm not gonna lie, when I need a female vocal or this and that, I use the AI to do it. You know what I mean? If I need a certain section to be cleaned up, I do use the AI. I did. But at this point, like I said, I can't do it anymore. So I have 200 songs available that are slightly AI, partially AI, and they have a lot of what I brainstormed as modern country jazz. So if you'd like to get introduced to what I'm even talking about, what modern country jazz is, then please come and listen to Denver Darling and What the Fuck Big Band.
What the Fuck Big Band. What's your favorite song? Just curious.
My favorite song right now is Want It All. I just love the way that when I wrote the song, it was just like I thought of it as what would be cool on the radio. And then when I started to work on it and I broke it down into a duet and I actually heard it back, oh my God, I was like, how could people not like this song? You know what I mean? But that's my favorite piece.
That's your favorite, though.
Favorite one, yeah.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that with us. Appreciate it.
All right.
Right on, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me out.